Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this super pretty multi-layered double tails down bow. And as you can see, we've got a 5.5 inch bow there, a 5-inch bow, and then a layered 4-inch bow. But like I said, you can mix up your sizes, and this is 2-inch ribbon, 1.5 inch ribbon, 1-inch ribbon, and 7/8 ribbon. But like I said, you can mix it up. You could go as high as 3-inch, and like I said, this would work. You would just need to increase the size of your templates as you're going up a little bit bigger, or you could stay smaller and have a slightly more blockier look to your bows, depending on what you personally prefer. And then, like I said, I've cut my tails at different angles and slightly different lengths, and as you can see, the slightly smaller one ribbon flares out a little bit more than the wider ribbon, which, like I said, gives it a really pretty look on the ponytails when it's on children's hair. So I'm going to show you how to make this. I've already made one of the bows off camera, and I've got my templates already set up here, but I'll show you how to achieve everything. And I've got 4 pieces of ribbon, and I always start them all off at the same length. So I've done 42 inches for all 4 pieces, which is the 2-inch ribbon, the 1.5, the 1-inch, and the 7/8 ribbon. And like I said, as you can see, I've got my templates here. I've actually done 6 inches, 5 inches, and 4 inches this time instead of 5.5, just so I can show you. And I've also got the 5.5, the 2-inch ribbon set up on the 6-inch template. And as you can see, it goes up higher than my guide stitches line, so I'm going to show you how to adjust it at your stitchings on the template, so you can sort of slip that down without affecting the balance of your bow. So I thought I'd leave it like that, but I've already made the 1.5 inch version off camera just to save a little bit of time, because you don't want to be watching me for hours. So that was on the 5-inch template on the 1.5 inch ribbon, and I'm just going to unwrap it just so you can see. I'll pop this on the template. I'm just going to move them out of camera shot so we're not distracted. So 42 inches ribbon, folded in half, and I always put a crease in the middle just so I can see where I'm centering from. And then, because this is wider, and like I said, the wrap's not going to fit round my guide stitch line, I'm going to start it at the top with that centrepiece lined up with our stitch guide. Like so. And then we take one back like this, bring it up to the edge here, and down, back piece around to the edge here and over like so. And you want your cross this piece to be lined up in your guide crease, centered. Once you're happy with that, you can pin here and here, just to keep everything in place as we're stitching, so it doesn't slip on a template or anything like that. And as always, I always start from above and come up from above. And I'll show you my stitch placements once I've done it, because like I said, I'm terrible at counting along as I'm doing this. So and don't worry as much on these templates, on these kinds of styles of bow, of getting your stitches as even. If you can, brilliant. If not, don't worry too much, because it's sort of hidden within the cinching. So like I said, it's not as big a deal as some of the other styles I do. And again, when you're coming through this cross here, make sure again that that cross is right in the centre of the guide area. Right, so in a second I'm coming to the limits of my guides. So what I can do, now I've got most of my stitches in, and everything's all sorted, what you can do is slip it down a little bit so it's back to the top of your guide. And then you can place your last stitches in, and it's still even, it's still across. And as you can see, in 1, 2, 3, out, and on the back you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so like I said, that's all you do. You just unclip, slip it down a little bit, because like I said, this is just a guide, it's not what we're cinching on. We just use the templates to keep the shape, the same shapes and the same loops the same width, because like I said, if I do things freehand, I can do it, but I have to seriously concentrate, because I have dyspraxia. It's a like learning challenge, and it means that my depth perception goes off a little bit, and when that happens I sort of naturally start making all of my bows a little bit off to the left, and it's not until someone else looks at it, or if I've done it rarely off, that I will actually notice that. So like I said, that's why I like the templates, because with the guidelines and the loops and everything, it means that you can always pretty much guarantee that you're going to get the same results every time, and your loops are always going to be even on any sizes that you do on them. And like I said, that's what I like about them. So like I said, cinch as normal and then stitch off in the back. And like I said, that was 2-inch ribbon on the 6-inch template, and you can buy the templates in the UK from Measurement French Born. I'll link the information in the description box below for you. I have quite a few tutorials that actually use them. I'll just tie off my thread again. So we've got the 2-inch version and the 1.5-inch version. And I'll just put those guide clips and pot out the way. And then the last one we're going to do is this is a layered version, and it's exactly the same principle, as you can see, because we've already got it pinned on the template, and this is the 4-inch template. Now the only difference in this is I have folded in half, but here, as you can see, the 7/8 ribbon is directly on top of that, right in the middle, and all I do, just to make sure that that doesn't slip as I put my stitches in, is pin that centered, so you know. And again, when we're wrapping it, you want to be making sure that you've got your right amount on either side, just to make sure it stays balanced. But just take that against your template, because like I said, that's your centre guide, and it just stops you wasting too much ribbon, because like I said, it'll be meaning that we're balancing the amount that we're using on both sides. So pin as before, go round right against that edge, and then forward, and again that one round, just under and across. As you can see at the minute, it's not even with our guide, so adjust them until your cross shape here is lined up with that centre, like so. Same on the back, make sure this is centered. Once you're happy with everything, you can clip, and as you can see from when it's on my template, you can still see that the ribbon is nice and even on each side, so this is still centered all the way across without any sort of ribbon or extra pinning or anything like that. And as you can see, compared to the other ones, these flare out a little bit more, which is where it gives you the look, this bit of the look that comes out instead of down. So like I said, that's the difference. And like I said, if you wanted them slightly shorter, you could sort of angle them. What you do is the more downward you angle them. Like I said, you'll get more down. If you do them closer, further up like this, you get the wider flare out like that. So it's entirely personal preferences, but like I said, if you wanted them to fall more like those two, straight down, like I said, adjust it on your template until your cross is a bit further like this, and then like I said, you'll get the more straight fall. So like I said, it's entirely up to you which you prefer. I prefer the like slightly flared version, so I'm going to pin mine on my template like so. But I will show everybody a couple of ways just so you can play around, because that's the very best thing about ribbon in my opinion. It's all a lot about personal preferences, and you can sort of decide how you like to do things and how you like to build your bows once you've learned techniques. And again, always start from above on the first corner of that cross. And you always want to be doing your last stitch up through here. And try and stay centered on your stitch guide as well, where you can. Okay. And now that's all in place and held, we can take that pin out, move that out of the way. Over. I'm going to do the last stitch up. And again, try and do as even as possible, but like I said, don't be overly concerned on these because we can cinch it together. So that's how it goes for that. You take the clips off, like so. Slide it off a template, put that out of the way, and then cinch it all together. Like so, get it all nicely lined up, and wrap a good couple of times so it's nice and tight and nothing's going to shift about, and then stitch off in your back however you personally prefer. So there we go, that's nice and tight. 1, 2, and there we go. And then like I said, I'm just going to adjust my loops a little bit like so. And as you can see, I've got a nice like fall effect, and our loops on all 3 of our bows are all nicely squared and even on each one. Now I've left the thread through this last one here because it's right in the centre, and what I personally do instead of gluing is I go right through the centre of the 1.5 inch like so, and then you can pull that so that's completely butted against that one, and then you can do exactly the same with this one, straight through the centre of that 2-inch version like so, and pull that all the way. Adjust everything so it's lined up how you want it to line up like so, and then pull nice and tight. Make sure your tails are on the right side, and wrap around a good couple of times nice and tight, and then you can do a last stitch off in the back, and that is just an alternative to adding glue between the layers, because I think it had bulk personally, but if you use glue instead, again, it's entirely personal preferences. This is just how I do it. Okay, so now we've got all 4 of our layers together. What I do is move my first set of tails out of the way, and we're going to cut these at this angle. Like so. And then if you want to make sure you're getting the right amount both sides, pop that side. and you can use it as a guide. So you hold it like that, you can use it as a guide to cut that side. And on this one, because we've gone that way this time, we're going to cut it so we're starting at the same length, and we shall do the same the other side. From that corner there, cut that straight. There we go. So they're both straight from the points of this layer. Okay, and like so, we'll cut that way for that one. So this one we're going to cut up from this direction to give it an alternative look. So like that, and then like I said, use this one as a guide this side. So you're angling it the right amount. There we go. So they're both, as you can see. And again, what I'm going to do is bring that to that point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just a little bit higher than this layer here. Like I said, we are wasting a little bit of ribbon, but it's enough that you'll be able to make a mini pigtail amount, because that's 6 inches roughly. So like I said, always use scraps for alternative projects. I'm not just going to completely waste them. And then use that as a guide to cut this side same length. Okay, and like I said, that's enough to make a little double pigtail set to match your ribbon. And then again, we're going to do this one angled up and this side angled that way. And like I said, use this side, flip that over, and you can use it as a guide to see how high to do your angle this side so that they're nice and evenly matched. And the same again, angled this way. There we go. Like I said, if you want to, use it to guide. If you're good at judging, do it freehand. Okay, leave those out of the way. Don't forget to heat seal all of them, so we don't want them to fray. And when you heat sealing, always stay in that blue clear bit of the light. Don't use the orange tip, so that you're not overheating your ribbon and melting it or getting smoke marks on your paler coloured ribbons. Remember to do both sides. Doesn't need long. There we go. So that's our bow just at the second. And I have got a nice little bit of matching 9mm and a bobble to attach. And then, because this is quite a big chunky bow, I like to add a scrunchy middle to the centre just to give it a bit more balance, but I wrap it with the 9mm first just to give it security against the bobble. So I'll show you how to do that. Touch of glue just there. Like so. Don't forget to heat seal your 9mm before you put that on. Just going to use that excess glue and hold that down a second. And wrap round at least twice, nice and tight as you can get it. Try not to burn yourself on the glue like I just did. Once. Nice and tight all the way around. Heat seal again, and I want a touch of glue just here. we go. As you can see, that's all nice and cute, just like that, depending on what you prefer. But like I said, if you want a little bit of interest on your centre, like I said, I've got this matching one. It matches this second layer down, or you could do a darker middle, whichever one you personally prefer. I'm just going to do the same as my original bow here, and you want roughly 4 inches to have enough to wrap round like this. And then don't heat seal your ends yet, because what you want to do is you make this S shape like so. Get it as even as you can. And watch your fingers when you do this, because that is very hot. And pinch that together. So you've got that. And then fold the S the opposite way. This side, like so. And again, heat seal that edge together, mind your fingers. And as you can see, you've got the darts going in opposite directions. And then I glue this side here. Just a little bit of glue. Just there. And we're going to start from the back here. And then bring that over like so, and then turn that one that way. And then you just want to touch glue. That side. Excuse me, just dropping my glue gun off camera. There we go. And like I said, that gives you your scrunched effect on your centre. And these measure from the 42 inches, you can do longer. These on tails alone are the whole length of the bow from top to bottom is 9 inches in length and 6 inches wide. So like I said, they're quite big bows, but like I said, they look amazing on ponytails, especially in long hair. The longer the hair, the longer the tails you can do. And like I said, you can go up to, I've seen people go up to 60 inches, you know, on the girls that have got like hair down to their waist. Like I said, they look really, really pretty in styles like that. And like I said, in half up, half down do's, like I said, they look really, really pretty. They're also alternatives for sort of chair bows, and I've also heard them referred to as equestrian bows, because this style is quite common in the equestrian competition jump shows. As the bottoms, you can do like slightly smaller versions for the pigtails, and updos that the girls you wear underneath their helmets when they're eventing. So like I said, there's quite a lot of options. Like I said, you can completely mix your colours up, you can completely mix your sizes up, you can do more layers, you could do 4 or 5, start with 3 inch, go all the way down to your 1.178, and like I said, just use bigger and smaller templates. You could even, like I said, do layers on each single one. So you could have done a 2 inch over your 3 inch, a 1.5 over a 2 inch, and so on. And like I said, have it really big and really wide. And again, like I said, you've got the options with your tails, with how you lay them on the template and how much you want them to flare out or in, depending on your personal preferences. But like I said, hopefully you found that super useful. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you need any more help or anything like that on absolutely any tutorial that I have, I've got my Facebook page and group in the description below. And feel free to pop along and ask me any questions that you might have about anything else. Thanks for watching. Bye.